Welcome to the video lectures on course Radiation and Microwave Techniques. We have started unit 4, that is passive microwave components, and in the previous two lectures we have discussed the E-plane T and the H-plane T. In this lecture 3rd we are going to go through the EH plane T, or it is also called as magic T. So let's see what are the contents related to magic T that we are going to cover in this lecture. We will cover learning outcome, then we will go for magic T junctions construction and working principle, and then we will derive the S matrix for magic T junction, and at last we will go through the applications of magic T junction. Coming to learning outcome, after completion of this lecture, students will be able to understand the magic T junction, and they will be able to derive the scattering matrix for magic T junction, and they will also understand how to use the magic T for different applications. Now let's start with the lecture with the magic T, and we will see its construction first. And EH plane T is formed by cutting along the width as well as the breadth of this long rectangular waveguide, and over there the side arms they are attached. So you can see this is port 1 and port 2, which are the ends of the long waveguide, and they are the collinear arms. This is the arm which is connected at the top of waveguide, which is port 4, and it is E arm, and the arm attached to the side is port 3, which is H arm. In this way the magic T is constructed, and now we will move to the working principle of magic T. Consider this interpretation of magic T with port 1, port 2, port 3 and port 4. So if a signal is sent from this port 4, the power is divided in between port 1 and port 2, but in opposite phases, while there will be no output at this port 3. Hence we can write this S34 equal to 0. Similarly, if a power is fed at this port 3, then the power gets divided into port 1 and port 2, while there will be no output at the port 4. So we can write S43 equal to 0. If a signal of equal phase and magnitude is sent to port 1 and to this port 2, then the output at port 4 will be 0, and the output at port 3 will be the addition of port 1 and port 2 signal. If the signal is fed at one of the collinear port, either port 1 or port 2, then there appears no power at the other collinear port, as the E arm produces a phase delay and the H arm produces a phase advance. So we can write S12 equal to S21 equal to 0. So these are the some of the properties of magic T, which will be helpful for us for the S parameter calculation of the magic T. Now we will go through the S matrix of magic T. Now we know that this magic T, it is a 4-port device, so we are having n equal to 4. The matrix S matrix, it will be a 4x4 matrix. This will be the S matrix for 4 ports. As it has H plane T section, we can write S13 equal to S23, and as it is having E plane T section, we can write S14 equal to minus S24. The E arm port and the H arm port, they are perfectly isolated, and that the other won't deliver an output if an input is applied at one of the port. So we can write S34 equal to S43, which will be equal to 0. Using the symmetry property, we know Sij equal to Sji, we can write S12 equal to S21, S13 equal to S31, S14 equal to S41, S23 equal to S32, S24 equal to S42, and S34 equal to S43. So now after putting all these values, we get this S matrix. So now using unitary property, that is the S matrix into S matrix conjugate equal to unitary matrix, and putting those S matrix, S conjugate and the unitary matrix, and we get this. If we calculate R1 C1, we will get this equation, that is mod of S11 square plus mod of S12 square plus mod of S13 square plus mod of S14 square equal to 1. Similarly, R2C2, we get mod of S12 square plus mod of S22 square plus mod of S13 square plus mod of S14 square equal to 1. From this equation number 1 and equation number 2, what we can say is S11 equal to S22. Similarly, then we will calculate row 3 into column 3, which is mod of S13 square plus mod of S13 square equal to 1, which is twice of mod of S13 square equal to 1, where we get S13 is equal to 1 by root 2, and if we do row 4 and column 4 multiplication and equate it to 1, we get mod of S14 square plus mod of S14 square equal to 1, which is twice of mod of S14 square equal to 1. So we get the second unknown, that is S14 equal to 1 by root 2. Now putting all the values in equation 1, we get mod of S11 square plus mod of S12 square plus the 1 by root 2 square is 1 by 2 plus 1 by root 2 square is 1 by 2 equal to 1. So this is total 1. If this goes on this side, it is 1 minus 1 equal to 0. So here we got mod of S11 square plus mod of S12 square. So from here we can say S11 equal to S12 equal to 0. That is port 1 and port 2, they are perfectly matched. As we have S11 equal to S22, which is equal to S12, and that is equal to 0. So till now we got the value of S13 as 1 by root 2, S14 as 1 by root 2, and S11, S22 and S12 is equal to 0. So the S matrix of magic T, after putting the values in this S matrix of S13, S14, S22, we get this matrix, which is nothing but the S matrix of magic T. We have put S13 as 1 by root 2, S14 as 1 by root 2, S22 is 0, S11 is also 0, and S12 is also 0. So now we will move to the last point of this lecture, that is the application of magic T. The first application of magic T is used to measure the unknown impedance. So the setup for measuring the unknown impedance is shown in the figure. A null detector is connected to the E-arm port, that is the port 4, while a microwave source is connected to H-arm, that is the port 3, and the collinear ports together with this all ports make a bridge, and the impedance measurement is done by balancing the bridge. So the power coming from this port 3, it will get divided into the port 1 and port 2. So if the source is generating A3 wave, the power at the port 1 will be A3 by root 2, and at port 2 will be also A3 by root 2. It has got equally divided into port 1 and port 2. As this port 1 and port 2, they are not connected to matched impedance, So it results in reflection. So this reflected signals, they are given over here with the green arrows, and their value is A3 by root 2 into reflection coefficient from port 1, and from port 2 we get A3 by root 2 into the reflection coefficient from port 2. That so this total comes at port 4, which is denoted by Y, and it is going towards the null detector. So this Y, the signal coming out at the port 4, it is proportional to the difference between the signal from port 1 and port 2. So this Y is directly proportional to A3 by root 2 into the reflection coefficient of port 1 minus A3 by root 2 into reflection coefficient of port 2, which is equal to, we have replaced this with proportionality constant, that is 1 by root 2 into A3 by root 2 into this reflection coefficient of port 1 minus reflection coefficient of port 2. For perfect balancing, the above equation is equated to 0. So after equating it with 0, we get this reflection coefficient of port 1 minus reflection coefficient of port 2 equal to 0. That is nothing but reflection coefficient of port 1 equal to reflection coefficient of port 2. So we can write it as Z1 minus Z0 divided by Z1 plus Z0, which is equal to Z2 minus Z0 upon Z2 plus Z0. This Z1 is the impedance of port 1 and Z0 is the impedance which is unknown, and Z2 is the impedance of port 2. So from here we can say Z1 is equal to Z2. So thus the unknown impedance, it can be measured by adjusting the standard variable impedance till the bridge is balanced and both the impedance, they become equal. So the magic T can also be used as a duplexer. So what is a duplexer? A duplexer is a circuit which works as both transmitter and receiver using a single antenna for both the purpose. So here the port 1 and port 2, they are used as a receiver and transmitter. At port 1 receiver is connected, at port 2 the transmitter is connected, and they are isolated, hence there will be no interference, and the antenna is connected to the E port and a matched load is connected to the H port, which provides no reflection. When transmitter is on, the signal from port 2, it comes to port 3 and port 4. The signal coming to the port 3 is totally absorbed by the match load. As you can see in the figure, there is a match load connected at port 3, so this it will get absorbed at port 3, and only the signal will go towards the port 4 where the antenna is connected. So in this way the antenna, it can radiate and it can transmit the signal. And in the receiving mode, the antenna, it receives a signal from the port 4, and the signal, it gets divided into port 1 and port 2 equally, and as the receiver is connected at the port 1, it will receive the signal. In this way the magic T, it can be used as a duplexer, and a same antenna can be used for transmission purpose and for the reception purpose by using magic T. Magic T can also be used as a mixer. So for this, the port 3 is connected with antenna and port 4 is connected to the local oscillator, as you can see in the figure, and port 1 has a match load which has no reflection, and port 2 is connected to the mixer circuit where the half of the signal power and the half of the oscillator power comes in order to produce the intermediate frequency. So in this way the magic T can also be used as a mixer in order to generate the intermediate frequency, which is the difference between the input frequency and the oscillator frequency. Hope you have understood this lecture. In this lecture, we have seen the construction of magic tea. We have seen the properties of magic tea, and we have derived the S matrix of magic tea, and then we have seen the different applications, like how the magic tea can be used for measurement of unknown impedance, how the magic tea can be used as duplexer, and how the magic tea can be used as a mixer. Thank you.